maze, I believe.
So, racers are often running. Belthasar already makes an oops by selecting an old save file that was not set to Sarah's station. So that's going to set him back a little bit.
They have both assigned column 5.
Not a surprise there. Absolutely not a surprise there.
No.
Let's start thinking on both of them. Because now, again, they have the options to sit there and think about the synergies that can help them out. So, again, you already got to go through all this stuff and head down to, Meridia. Why not give you something that puts you in Meridia's path to begin with?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, they do have to choose which other boss to kill, but Dragon isn't necessarily out of the way. Kraid's also right near the area. So 2 statues, killing the bosses isn't hard. You have to then plan your routing to actually go into the Gold 4 room, of course. Which actually isn't too bad since they do have collect both criteria energy tanks, so they have to go through the gauntlet at least part way. So they'll probably use that to go and visit the statues.
Not a bad thought process, and because they're not limited to one or the other suit, they could take a quick swoop down and kill Kraid, get Varia, so they can get Gravity too, so they have an easier time fighting Fantoon. So that could be there too, or someone that's actually good enough could do CWJ or Spark across the moat and take out Fantoon, and then use Dragon as their secondary. You never know. It's really up in the air at this moment as to what they may or may not decide to do.
Yeah, it'll be really interesting to see if they both pick the same additional row or if they choose different ones, and then what their routing will be.
Well, despite his little disadvantage of making the unfortunate save file choosing, Balthazar managed to make up a little bit of ground with Jake and is almost planet side. Meanwhile, Jake does get the advantage out of the gate and is on the planet and running.
Yep, just a little bit of the lead by Jake here, but definitely not too much of one.
As I've mentioned before, folks, it's not really this section here that adds up to what could be the defining moments. It's those fine key moments that, after we get past Brinstar into the more, clutch moment points like Norfair or deciding if we're going to go fight Fantoon and stuff, that really the separation, the gap starts to show up, and then literally anything could happen at that point.
Yeah, the big one, the really big one with them both assigning column 5 is how good they both are at the ice clip. That's going to be probably the biggest game changer.
Definitely. I haven't done it myself, but I've seen other people do it in, special runs that they've done, and it is pretty tight.
Yeah, it's not fun. I've had to do it before. I've definitely had to do it in randomizers.
I think they've been more fortunate than that in randomizers and gotten told to go die in a fire earlier than that. So I've never had to find out. I do have to agree with Shifty in chat, though. Bottom left to top right would have been probably a little bit more of a low blow, if of anything, instead of going with column 5. But, thought process is still going out for column 5 there. It's kind of an interesting shot, but as Elmo already pointed out, it would have been a freebie to somebody because, hey, Ice Beam, click.
Bot left, top right, not top left, bot right.
Yes, other way, my bad. Sorry, my head is in reverse.
Yeah, that happens all the time with the diagonals. I mean, to be fair, Elm, spring ball no grapple if you haven't practiced it, it is quite difficult. There isn't anything else super terrible on this card, I don't think. Like, there's plenty other rows that cause a lot of running around, but that is definitely the potential to just get someone stuck for a long time.
You know, it'd be a very interesting card that we probably will never see.
What would that be?
Finish in Mother Brain's room.
Yeah. Yeah, we're never going to see go into Turian because that means defeat all 4 bosses. And it just makes a lot of the like other tiles on the card just moot. Yeah, bot left top right is pretty crazy too.
That one's nuts in its own right, and top left bottom right is still pretty bad too, because, you know, again, you still give them the ice clip, but as they have to go down there, but then afterwards, you know, what a Spring Pulse there last night. Now they gotta trek all the way back to Brinstar and go finish in Sportspawn's room, so forcing people to go to see the DLC boss is kind of like, you know, somewhat out of the way, depending on the skill level of the player.
Yep. So it looks like Jake had a good Bomb Terizo fight, getting the Alcatraz on the second try.
Yes, very nice bomb Terizo fight. Got Alcatraz on the second try. So again, there's not really much separation. There's maybe 10 to 15 seconds of separation between these two racers. So it's literally going to come down to, you know, Brinstar and who can get to, you know, down or up Red Tower faster. It doesn't seem like much, but those are usually like the key deciding points. It's like, you know, one person goes up, one person goes down. You know, anything can happen at that point in time. Because, again, we've seen people go to hell runs and fail. We've seen people do, you know, a long attempt at CWJs. We've seen other people legit go to Fantoon and just suffer sunrise surprises. Anything can happen.
I had a combination of a couple of those in my first race. Took forever to CWJ for the first times ever, and then died a total of 4 or 5 times to Fantoon. Yes, the eternal Ridley fight. Oh, Serb. You stuck through it. Looks like Jake is picking up the Brinstar Reserve, which is on the card.
And just barely misses the mock ball. Almost got it, but I guess he timed himself just a second too short coming out of the gate. So, interesting choice, but he does pick up the reserve. So there's a chance he could either be going for row 3 or column 2. It depends.
My guess, just right now, would be row 3 because of Ice Beam.
Totally agree. Again, you know, the Meridia Supers, you already have to go get Spring Ball. The Supers aren't that too bad out of the way. It's just, you know, key timing and locations can add up if you're not thinking carefully. Which, unfortunately, 90% of this is thinking.
Yeah, even Visit the Critters isn't too bad after going to Gauntlet and visiting the statues.
Exactly. I mean, what's one more stop on your list gonna be? You know, it's not that bad.
Yeah, and you can even finish at the last critter too. Let's sync on the Charge Beam collection because Jake went and got the reserve while Belthasar didn't.
So yeah, literally the mistake that Belthasar made is now pretty much closed the gap pretty much tight there, because they're both now pretty much at the same location at the same time. So again, it's just going to come down to who goes up, who goes down, or which way they both go, and what are they thinking at this point in time.
Yeah, Jake does have a little bit more of an energy buffer because of the reserve, though. And here's the moment of truth for Red Tower direction.
Jake opting to go down, and Belthasar
going
likewise.
Down.
I smell a dead big dragon in a couple minutes. If that would grade be. So interesting choice by Belthasar. He stopped for the reserve, for the energy refill, so...
He might be going top, left, bottom, right. Because again, the free Ice Beam tile. So they only have to do 8 objectives, essentially.
That could be interesting if he does go that direction. Meanwhile, Jake getting a very nice jump across, going to Ridley. And Belthasar doing likewise.
Yep. Yeah, it
And
isn't.
I mean Kraid. I said Ridley again. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, it isn't too surprising them both going down, because going to kill Kraid and then Fantoon is your two bosses right there.
This is true.
And they
Kraid,
have to collect wave.
so that means that tile we both marked off has to come off.
Yep.
Well, and there's 2 reserve rooms for Belthasar. He has 1 more to grab before we can check that. Let's see if he gets it. Jake gets the quick kill. Very nicely done. Let's see if Belthasar can answer with the same thing.
Yeah, empty eye. The two ways to get Spring Ball involve grapple beam to get up there or ice clip to clip through the floor.
Belthasar went for the second attempt, got denied by Kraid closing his mouth, but he only needs to shoot him like 1 or 2 more times and Kraid will go down. So it's not too bad. Well, in before Kraid fights back. But he still goes down, nevertheless.
Yeah, Melodia, barring really shenanigan-y things. Yes, those are the two main ways to get Spring Ball.
You mean outside of no major glitches? Yeah. You got the ice clip, that's it.
Yeah, Jake picked up the Kraid E-Tank. And gets the mouth ball. Nice quick way out of Kraid's lair towards the Norfair elevator.
The smart thing on both players' parts here, with getting Kraid down, is they get Varia, which means they don't have to do the Hell Run, which unfortunately for most people who lost their races, had plagued them to the bitter end. Minus, save for one person who thought ahead about this and got enough energy to actually survive all the way through.
So Jake just grabbed a high jump E-Tank and then left, so we can now mark off skip high jump for him.
Which means he's definitely going for column, or for row 4 or column 2 as well. We have not 100% sure clue just yet.
Oh, it looks like he's a lot better at bomb jumps. Because I remember the one race where he did his first bomb jumps ever, or his first infinite bomb jumps.
And for those that don't think it's tricky to do that, it isn't that hard to do, but if you're like mentally off on your timing, you can easily mistake your actual timing to put it down and shoot them off, so that way you make the bomb jumps work.
Belthasar almost went down to high jump boots, and then he remembered and turned around. I forget who it was that actually picked up high jump boots when they had to skip it and had to reset.
Very nice use of wall jump climbing there by Jake. Almost got denied by the cack attack, but just had enough margin of error to get around.
Yeah, Galamaz sounds right for that. Galamaz had picked up high jump when he was forced to skip it.
And that's the unfortunate thing about this event, is if you're forced to do something, you actually have to obey and do it, or you do have to take the reset, which can set you back quite a lot if you're not careful. So Belthasar now just getting the spring ball up into Cathedral, or excuse me, the bomb jump up into Cathedral. Just used his super on a pink door. He needs another super now in order to get past this part. Does get it though, so thankfully he did get that. Otherwise he would have been in a little bit of a situation.
Yeah, you definitely have to be careful with your ammo going into that room there. A lot of people have used their last super on that pink door only to have to scramble and farm another.
Yeah, Belthasar originally saw that and had to go in a circle because he forgot he wasted his last super and then got it again. So that did send him back a little bit. He's now attempting to run out of the save room on Bubble Mountain to do the same thing Jake did and get the wall climb so he doesn't have to go around. Keeps missing a little bit. Meanwhile, Jake has just got Wave Beam.
Yep. So Jake's lead is growing a little bit more here. Anything can still happen here for sure, though.
Oh, definitely. All it's going to take is one wrong step or one body check from Ridley or something abnormally stupid that just ends up ruining your run.
Yep. Yeah, column 2 was already ruled out for Jake the instant he grabbed Charge Beam.
This is true. When they both grabbed Charge, that instantly annulled it, but you got to think about the process they're going through. The reason they grabbed Charge Beam, they could be going to take care of Fantoon and get Gravity Suit, unless they're comfortable with, like, suitless Meridia, which it's going to be a lot of suitless to get to what you need to get to, especially with the fact you're going to Spring Ball.
Yeah, about the only thing worth going suitless for in Meridia is the map station.
And even then, that's not, enough love.
Yeah, it really depends what your other tiles are.
Ooh, very nice entry into the ice room by Jake there, using Speedball to pretty much get a nice bounce halfway across the room. That was pretty interesting. Someone clipped that.
Yeah, that was really well done. He has now picked up Ice Beam. Belthasar, meanwhile, is about to pick up Wave.
So this will now put Belthasar at 2 objectives. This also puts Jake at 4. So Jake has the slight lead in the form of tiles, but again, positioning and timing all comes down to the key of what could happen next. So he could very well lose those tiles in a matter of seconds. This is why we give you guys a courtesy reminder to save often. You never know what to do.
Especially when there's, like, some of the saves are just 2 seconds out of the way, plus the save animation, but you can save so much more time in the case of a death. Yeah, Ice Clip is going to be the big deciding factor here.
Oh yes, definitely. It's going to come down to who can do it the quickest and the fastest to definitely get in and out of there. Again, they still, at this time, still need to go through and do the 2 statues, collect 2, energy tanks up from Gauntlet, and, well, the one that's left in Gauntlet, rather, and then, make their way around still. There's still a lot of stuff to cover, and there's still a lot more around to go through, so it's not over just yet for either one, and there's no one near close to clinching victory just yet.
There goes Belthasar with the Speedball entry as well.
Both players definitely trying to make sure they show off their stuff tonight. But yeah, again, it's still too early to call, where the deciding factor is going to be. There's still maybe a good 20 minutes left before we see something really prominent of victory happening.
If you don't know, Speed Booster actually changes the way your jump physics work if you don't have high jump, and you don't get a running start. So he had to actually take Speed Booster off to make that jump.
To paint a picture of words to help describe that just a little bit better, imagine you're doing the hill towards grapple, okay? And normally you have high jump speed booster, so you sail over and make it halfway onto the ledge that's out there to grapple just fine. With only Speed Booster, you're gonna make just the tip if you don't jump at the exact right time, and you're gonna end up falling straight in the lava down below. So, yeah.
Yeah, so if you're not used to it, it can
Which,
cause a lot of problems. And it's not a usual thing to have Speed Booster and not have high jump.
so yeah, if you're not used to, say, let's say the heavier physics of Samus, because of this little change in the numbers, yeah, it can definitely add up to you being tossed into something you don't want to be in. Jake just remembering he shut Speed Booster off going, why didn't my spark work? Ta-da!
Oh, and he shined spark straight up. Oh.
Hi, Ceiling. Can we be friends today?
Belthasar did make the jump without turning Speed Booster off, but I think he had a slightly better Ripper positioning and was able to get a running jump.
Yes, he was.
Or just enough of a running jump.
So Jake there got the moat spark. Gets the moat spark and is now onto the bridge. And gets half an ocean fly. That's not bad. So at this junction in time, Jake is now inside the wrecked ship. Meanwhile, Belthasar is just finally getting his first power bomb. Again, this isn't really going to be the deciding factor just yet.
Yeah, it looks like Jake's farming a little bit of energy for a slightly safer Fantoon fight. Never a bad idea. So did Jake save before heading up?
To the best of my memory, I don't believe so.
Yeah, Belthasar is picking up these power bombs, so definitely looks like he is going for top left, bottom right.
Not a bad choice. Meanwhile, Jake here in the Fantoon fight successfully gets double X Factor. Very nice job by Jake.
Yes, very nicely done. Yeah, Belthasar does just need one more power bomb pack for 15. Not that hard to get.
Thankfully, not at all. It's literally on his way down to where he needs to get going, so it's not too bad.
Yeah, I would not be surprised if he got criteria power bombs, as Cerberoth has pointed out, because they do have to go through Gauntlet and destroy the statues, so definitely probably the power bombs of choice.
Belthasar was trying for Ocean Fly, ended up missing the missile timing, and gets Door as a present for it. Meanwhile, Jake has just finished up his Fantoon fight, is heading up the ship, and got the missiles that Fantoon tucked away in the reserve area.
Belthasar sparked right into that first platform in the ocean. Yeah, you can't get the third Brinstar energy recharge without having Speed Booster, so you do have to revisit.
Which he doesn't have to visit the critters, which, you know, is an interesting choice setup. It is kind of out of the way, but at least going through the decor would help him out. But he also, if he is doing, you know, top left to bottom right, he could save that as his final objective, because he could be finishing in Spore Spawn's room, which wouldn't be too bad. Which thus would give him the one reserve, you know, energy recharge he has to go to. He has the one power bomb left he has to get. This is his second statue. He'll just have to blow him up. So he literally could do things in one, single swoop after getting gravity and then going to get Spring Ball. So he actually be closer to finishing than we realize.
Yeah, and the passing out of Meridia right up to Brinstar is a great way. You just come right back up through the red tower to Crateria and go right over into the landing area. It's definitely actually very good pathing there.
Shoutouts to Jake to getting the bowling spark there. Very nice job. Almost looked like he was going to hit up into the ceiling, so very good job on pulling that very clutch key time maneuver. Oof, Belthasar almost got Sunrise surprised there. He has to be just a touch more careful, but looks like he got the X Factor too. Nope,
He
almost
missed
killed
one particle, I believe.
Yep, off by one. But then again, we've seen worse happen in situations like this, so it's not the beginning of the end just yet.
Yep, he was off by one, just had to use a super.
Thankfully, just a super. Last thing he needed was a flame rodeo.
Yeah, he does at least have charge, so an enrage would have just been time loss. Jake has gotten gravity. Looks like Jake's going to head over to the ship, presumably to save. Maybe pick up some things on the way back down.
Wouldn't be a bad thought process.
Yeah, he's storing a spark, so it looks like he'll be going right up to... Well, he could spark in either direction. He'll probably might spark to the left to get to the gauntlet right now.
Yes, he could either choose to spark straight up to... Oh, he's actually going to go up. Maybe he's going to go for the wraparound and then drop down and shine spark through.
It looks like that's exactly what he's doing.
I think he got it. Let's see here. Oops.
Oh, and he sparks directly up. Oh, he could have landed on the platform.
Could have missed the timing just a bit. Now trying for a... Looks like a possible 2-tap. Gets it. And starts flying again. And... He did indeed get the wraparound.
I believe it is a 3-tap. I believe it's a 3-tap to get that short charge there.
Shine Sparking and me are not friends, so we don't talk much.
I just know it's pretty tight timing there. Yep, and that is his 4th energy tank as well.
So at this point, he's literally going in a couple different directions here. I noticed he didn't visit the map station, so he's definitely not doing Row 4, so...
Yeah, I mean, he just has to visit the critters and collect Meridia Supers to get Row 3. So I wouldn't be surprised if that's what he's doing, because he's going to go and destroy the statues now. Yeah, I think he's going to end in Spring Ballroom, is what his plan is. So he's actually pretty close to finishing.
He's actually got this real thought out, which is very helpful. Because on his way down, as you mentioned, he could visit the critters, which is the Edicuns and Decors. So that helps him out there, and that would give him that. The Meridia Supers aren't too tough to get to. Again, you just have to get to the ones on Main Street. You have to get to the ones in the Crab Room. And then the last one is in the Little Hidden Pond Room. Whatever the technical name for that room is, I'm not sure. But it's like out of the way.
Watering hole.
The watering hole, thank you.
So Belthasar is picking up gravity here. Yep, you have to visit both critters, and you must have all of the critters on the screen when you visit them. Yeah, visiting the critters is as close of a tile to saving them as we can possibly get. Looks like Belthasar did not get the Shine Spark save, but he will be saving at the ship and refilling. And then we'll presumably spark up to the right for the criteria power bombs.
Just want to point out real quick, if Jake does this within the next 4 minutes, he literally could have the fastest time in the tournament right now. Wouldn't be for the winning bracket nonetheless, but it still would be the fastest time in the tournament.
It would still be very impressive.
Definitely. This is definitely going to turn out to be interesting. If he can manage to do this within almost exactly the next 4 minutes, he legit has the fastest record in the time. So, wow. This is going to be a pretty tight finish. Just a reminder for everybody, the fastest time at this moment goes to Dro in round 2 with a time of 34:33. Second fastest is Straveris with a 35:36, also in round 2. So Jake did just visit the critters, yep.
Belthasar got the wraparound shot. Picking up the energy tank.
Puts him as 4 as well.
If Jake's good at the ice clip, it's pretty fast. He does have wave beam on top of ice beam.
Mm-hmm. Legitimately, if he can manage to pull this off within the next 3 solid minutes, he definitely deserves that. So this is actually looking pretty tight. I mean, both contenders are almost done with what they gotta do. So this is literally a very good and close race. I am questioning, though, why Jake is going for Spazer. He might be using it for the ice clip, but...
Yeah, just the pure damage for the clip. Yeah, getting the Meridia Supers is going to take too long, for sure.
He's still going to have a good time, nonetheless.
Oh yeah, it's still going to be, very quick.
It's going to be up there and worthy of recognition, that's for sure.
Yep. Jake is heading into Meridia now.
Again, the thing to point out, while he does not have high jump or space jump, he does have speed booster, which will help him get up to the area he needs to get to, but he's still going to have to do a lot of technical maneuvering to get around this part right here. So that now gives Belthasar the second critter as he falls down into the Gora pit. And he also gets the third recharge.
I don't think Belthasar went and visited the Edicoons.
Well, chat will correct us in a couple seconds. They're always good like that.
Because he didn't have a reason to go down there. This looks like Jake has picked up the Crab Supers.
Interesting choice. He's going to the watering hole first. Not a bad idea. I mean, you can technically wrap your way around and come back down, but you figured you would have saved Main Street as your last super. So why he didn't get the crab missile first, a little puzzling, but I'm sure he's going back for it.
Jake did get the crab missiles already.
He did, okay.
Yep.
It's confusing trying to watch 2 screens at once.
It really is.
Even though they're right in front of me, it's like I'm watching this one, and I gotta watch that one, watch this one, watch that one. Literally, we were back from what seemed to be Jake having a pretty solid lead to just about anybody having the chance to, really make this in their favor right now. Because, again, with Belthasar, he just has to go get the ice clip and get Spring Ball, and then get back into Sportsbo's room, and he's done. That's it. For Jake, he still's got one more super to go, and he also has to get the ice clip.
Yeah, they have about as much distance to travel. It is going to come down to purely the ice clip here. So we'll have to see. Because they both just need one thing plus the ice clip.
The thing for Belthasar is the ice clip is closer to him than, Jake's is, but Jake also has the advantage of being able to go in through the pits to get down there. So it saves him a little bit of time.
And Jake is done immediately after grabbing Spring Ball.
This is true. So unable to avoid the regular missiles there. Picks him up, adds about 7 seconds to his, overall, wait time, which kind of stinks.
Yeah, it was probably another one of those have speed booster, don't have high jump. Not used to the slightly lower jump height there.
So here it comes.
Yeah, Jake currently has less to do.
Because again, he just got his last super. You said he got the crab super, and he also has the watering hole super. So he literally just needs to make this ice clip happen and sink. Belthasar is having trouble getting up there to do this. Oof, gotta hurry, buddy. Gets up there, now it just has to set it up. I think the worm just... Oh, there it comes.
Oh, I froze it a little early.
Oof.
Can at least try again when it unfreezes. Oh, he might have gotten it there. I wish I was a better judge at what pixel it was.
Jake gets it first.
Oh! Yep, looks like Jake will be...
Unfortunately, this doesn't matter at this point because Belthasar still has to go back to Spo's room to finish.
Yep.
Jake has this one in the bag.
Definitely very close, though. I am impressed with how quickly both of them got the ice clip. That was impressive.
Again, clip that. They both at the same time got it, which is the disappointment for Belthasar because he's automatically going to lose. But it was a very, very awesome race to the end from both racers. This was the most interesting thing in the universe.
Yes, Jake did get the crab supers. Those were the first supers he picked up.
See, again, disadvantage of not being able to pay attention to both screens at once. Except when something awesome happens. And there it is.
So, Jake has done with an SRL race time of 37:56.
That pretty much gives him the 4th fastest run in this race. Originally, it was Wild Anaconda in round 3 with 38:55. So literally shaves off a minute off Anaconda's time to get 4th place in the best race times thus far. That was amazing.
Yep.
And we can see Jake's excitement in the chat there.
Yeah. That's insane. I still can't believe they just both got ice clip at the exact same time.
Dude, that... Oof. Literally, Belthasar's best friend would have been if Jake managed to somehow keep goofing up on the ice clip. But unfortunately, again, they both got it at the same exact time, so it legit just was not happening for Belthasar. I mean,
Yeah.
They both pretty much did not have much mistakes. Belthasar's only mistake, which didn't really cost him too much entirely until this point, was the whole, choosing the wrong file to start.
Yep.
So Belthasar here just has to go back to Spospo's room. Not too much of a daunting task, but he only has 63 energy and no reserves, so has to be careful how much damage he's taking here.
He does have gravity, though. He should be fine.
Yeah, sometimes you have everything you need, and then you realize you really don't. So, still needs to have somewhat of a cautious thought about him.
Yeah, top left, bot right, and row 3 both gave really good routing, as we've seen with both of the racers.
You know, I was honestly expecting for this to go a little bit longer than it did, but I'm also surprised that it didn't go any longer than it did at the same time.
Well, I mean, second try ice clip for both runners.
That's definitely something to hang your hat up on and be proud about.
Yeah, it would have been interesting to see, as Shift is saying, bot left to top right, because lower Norfair and then finish an X-ray. I mean, X-ray isn't terribly far from from Norfair. It is from lower Norfair.
Belthasar there had a little bit of trouble with the lettuce leaf, literally just pegging at him, making it so he couldn't jump up, get him down and out of the way. Now heads up, deals with the side hoppers, and literally just has to take out the key hunters and say hi to Spospo one last time.
But Ace of Arrows, there's an entire category for getting X-ray and then triggering the end of the game.
Oh yeah. So there is Belthasar with the finish.
With an SRL race time of 41:43.
So literally, good job to both racers today. Please give both of our runners a follow. They both completely deserve this.
Yeah, they both put on a fantastic show. Definitely was a good race. Both had fantastic routing.
I definitely cannot wait for the next set of matches. That is definitely for sure.
Yeah. Getting down to the end. Going to be all the top players left here soon.
Oh yeah.
We're going to have some real close races.
Well, unfortunately, that's definitely going to do it for all the Super Metroid this evening, but I do believe we have something else going on this evening, do we not?
Believe so. Let's take a look at the schedule here. Yes, it looks like there will be a Mega Man race coming up in 15 minutes here. Hey Jake, you have proven yourself to be able to hold your own.
Anyone who's ever actually managed to race in this and do good, definitely hats off to you guys for just for signing up, for trying, for doing your best, putting on a good show. Even if it wasn't your best run in the universe, it's still amazing to see people put on an amazing show and actually hold on tight and really get into this with good, strong thoughts. But yes, as I just checked, we have, I believe it's a 4-way coming up in the 46 Robot Master Tournament. It's going to be on Speed Gaming or is it on SRL? That's the only thing I'm not sure of.
I would imagine with this finishing up here.
They'll be coming over here. Not a bad thing, though.
Okay, so it's one race on Speed Gaming, one on SRL.
Yeah, last I checked, there's still one going on in SRL right now, too, so... Wow, it's going to be 2 separate channels. That's going to be interesting.
Better prepare the multi-Twitch.
Seriously, folks, this is not going to be a matchup you're going to want to miss. None of these matchups are anything you want to miss. Unfortunately, life happens. Talking to you, work.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, there's some matches I've wanted to watch and commentate, but I was stuck at work as well. It happens.
All too often.
But yeah, make sure to stick around here for some 46 Robot Masters coming up. Also watch on SRL. Make sure to give our runners a follow. It has been a pleasure doing commentary for you all again.
It's definitely always fun to commentate on these matches and bring you the best and the latest action when it comes to speedrunning games. Definitely, without a doubt. So once again, I'd just like to say I am Sacred Hughes, and I'd like to say on behalf of all of us within Speed Gaming and the SRL community, we thank you for watching, and we hope you've thoroughly been entertained.
Indeed, indeed. Definitely keep an eye out for all the races coming up, all the action. And that's all we have for you for now. Make sure to stick around, and we will see you next mission.
Rock on, people.